Welcome back, fellow soldiers, to the developers briefing that I think most of us, if not all of us, have been waiting for. It is the developers briefing number 103, and that one is about the overhaul of the support role. So lean back, relax, and let's dive right into it. First off, as you probably know, and if you're not, now you know, the support role will be overhauled from update 8 on, or with update 8. That means it will finally come to an end or set an end to the endless redeploying problem that we've had so far. Until now, the support role had to deliver its supplies and then, die again, and in the process redeploy to gain more supplies for the commander or for the squad lead. With update 8, this mechanic will finally be gone, and I think the developers calculated a very cool way for the support role to function in the future. First off, one of the biggest changes will be that the support role won't have a big supply pile anymore of 100 supplies. It will have a supply box that only holds 50 supplies. With 50 supplies, you are still able to build nodes, you are still able to build a garrison, and that should be enough. But what will be added with update 8 are transport vehicles that can also transport supplies. A lot of supplies, in fact 300 supplies. These are not only meant for nodes, for garrisons, but also for fortifications that I've already talked about in the last developers briefings video. But now you're probably thinking, well, only 50 supplies, that's not really that much. And what if I've used them? Hear me out. The developers team has actually thought a lot about that redeploying mechanic and how they could go around that one. And one thought was to be dependent on the transport vehicle that will be integrated in update 8. But that would make it very, very dependent on the transport vehicle. That means if there's one player that fucks up the transport vehicle, all the supports aren't able to get any more supplies from that truck. So that wasn't the very best option. Another option would be to rearm when you are dead, and that would be still just the exact same mechanic as we had before. So the developers came up with a system that integrates the supply nodes much more than before. From now on, or from update 8 on, if you are in a 50-meter diameter of a resource node of any kind, then you will be restocking your supplies. And that means from the moment on that you get close to such a node, there will be a timer that counts down. You don't have to stay in that diameter for the whole time. You just have to go inside it, let the timer start, and then you can go on with your squad. And there will be a timer counting down. If it counted down to 0, then your supplies will be restocked. And I kind of think this is a great way to integrate the resource nodes much more and to make them more important and also visible, if you want to call it that way, for the normal player. Until now, it was kind of a struggle for the commander to have them built up. So I think they will gain in importance, but also in awareness from the players. So the players will be much more aware that they really need those resource nodes. The downside I see with this solution is that the resource nodes won't be built outside of the main battlefield anymore. Until now, it was an advantage if you've built the resource node very much high up in the north or the south where no enemy came by, because it was not the main direction where the battle focused, and they would never discover the nodes except if they had a very good sniper or recon team. From now on, I think the nodes will be more built along the battlefield direction. If that is a good thing or not, we'll have to see from update 8 on, but I think it's a very well thought out concept to restock all the supplies. And that not only works for the support role, actually, it also works for the ammo guy, it also works for the medic. So if you as a medic are out of medical equipment, you go close to a resource node, you will restock. If you as an AT guy are out of rockets, you get close to a ammo node and you will restock those rockets. In the developers briefing, the devs write that it will take 5 minutes of a countdown to restock. I personally think 5 minutes are way too long. I mean, my average living time or survival time in the game is probably about 3 minutes if I'm not playing as a squad lead. So 5 minutes, in my opinion, is way too long, but that won't be a big thing to change and adjust for the developers, and they'll definitely see that once it's integrated and the players can give feedback to that. And to round the developers briefing number 103 up, little information for all the veteran players that have already reached level 100. Until now, if you've gained more experience, you couldn't gain any more level than 100. The developers now said that they will integrate levels up until 200 and that you as a veteran player will also get your experience gained in that time from the level 100 on, that you now can't see progress, that will be accounted to your player level. So if you have been playing on level 100 for over a year, you still gained experience, and that experience will hopefully accordingly be transferred to your overall level. So that means if you are now playing on level 100, you will probably find yourself suddenly on level 130 from update 8 on. Let's see if that really works out. And yeah, that's already been it for that developers briefing. I've kept it short, I'm a bit behind schedule, but I think this one in particular is one of the most interesting developers briefing that we've gotten. I think the support role, the overhaul of that role is one of the most important things that the devs have to change about the in-game mechanics. And I think also a lot of you guys are thinking the same. So I'm very excited and hyped to see how this will be implemented. Now that's been it. I hope you enjoyed the content I provided. If you did so, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see each other on the battlefield.